the older generation that raised their kids to always keep their mouth shut. You know what I mean? I'm like, new generation here, honey. We're speaking out. Just tag me. I know you're talking about me. That video was seen by 60,000 people. Hey, I'm out. You won't catch me at no poly function for business. You really won't. It's just a bunch of tacky and fakeness that I just cannot get on board with. Let's just call it what it is. You don't have to like me. That's fine. But like, don't pretend. Welcome back. I'm trying to make sure my awangas are not out. Last time I wore these shorts, my awangas were damn near staring in your guys' face. Hi guys, welcome back to the Casualtea podcast. I am your host, CreditKona, and I am actually so proud of me for still going. Holy shit. Like, I'm not saying I don't finish stuff, but like, okay, sometimes I don't finish it. A lot of the time, you know what I mean? Like, I'll start something and then, like I've said many times before, like once I'm sick of it or I don't know. I'm really proud of me. Anyway, how are you guys doing? I'm doing amazing. Today's going to be a little lighter. You guys, I feel like the past few episodes have been a little deep, and some of you guys might like it deep, but I mean, I feel like lately I've been feeling like I've been needing like a rebrand, you know what I mean? Like a social media rebrand. I've had this prompting, and I talked to my cousin about this in Hawaii. I guess she disciples me. I'm just going to put it that way, Guys, she's hopefully coming to Utah soon for my birthday. This month I am turning 32. Holy shit. But if she comes, then definitely she'll be a podcast guest, because I know that's been highly requested. You guys want to meet the little Hawaiian lady. Lady sounds so old. My cousin who like turned me back to Jesus. And so she'll be here hopefully in April, crossing my fingers and praying that it all works out. Lately, I've just been having this like prompting, okay? The prompting actually came to me as just delete my Instagram. I know that sounds actually insane, but like this prompting has been for the past few days, like really strong in my head, and I was just talking to my cousin and I'm like, I'm not sure. I'm trying to decipher, and like discern whether this message is telling me to delete my Instagram or to literally like, it's a symbolic thing of like delete the old character. And I'm not saying who I played before was a character, you know what I mean? But it was definitely just an accentuated version of me. Like, I recently feel like I've been needing to like go in for Jesus and like go all in, regardless of what anybody thinks of me or regardless of what anybody has to say, and just like go all in on Jesus. Because there's a lot of content, like, God content that I want to make on Instagram, but I'm not sure how it will be perceived, because so many people have followed me for this one persona, but like that is literally not me anymore. And I'm just getting a prompting to just kill that person off for good and go all in for God. My journey back to God has only not even a year yet, and I'm proud of the progress that I've made. And it's just like every few weeks, it's like another thing that I'm being like prompted to do or prompted with, and some thoughts and feelings. And like, speaking of that, I feel like God is literally, how do I word this? I feel like God is literally like removing people from my life, and I was very aware that he was like doing that early on in my Bible journey. And there's many people that I don't really associate with anymore. And I know there's a reason for that. Like I had to sit in stillness so I could find clarity in him. And now that I find clarity in him and have clarity in him, I'm realizing that he ain't done yet. And there's more people that he is slowly, I don't want to say removing from my life. And I don't know how to move about this. I don't know what it means, but like there's just a feeling that there are certain people in my life that have been in my life for a really long time that slowly will see their way out of my life. Does that make sense? I'm not sure how to move about it yet. I haven't processed it, but I'm going to pray about it, because I'm like, oh God, not this person. Are you serious? So many people support my journey like back to God, and actually the majority outweighs the minority in this. But I noticed that there's a trend in people who I don't want to say don't believe in my journey, but like it's just this certain spirit that I feel in them, like spirit. Like every time I talk about God or like tell somebody that, oh, like I've removed all secular music from my phone, like there's always like comments about it, you know what I mean? And they follow they're part of a religious institution, so their beliefs are completely different than mine. And so I just feel that there's a sense of like pushback, a sense of there's a blockage there now. You know what I mean? Like, yes, these are people that I've had in my life, literally my whole life. When I didn't have God, that was fine. Our relationship was fine. But like now that I have God and like I'm trying to live his true gospel, I'm realizing that like there's a block there now. And I'm not sure how to get past it because I've shared my thoughts. I've shared, what I thought, and it's just met with some pushback, a lot of pushback. And so it's like, at what point do I just like, it's getting to the point where every time I hang out or hang around these people, like I don't feel like accepted. You know what I mean? And it's like so weird that like I didn't have God my whole damn life pretty much, and I was fine in their life. But like the second that I have God and I know his gospel and I know his true word, there's a dilemma there, and it's like, I don't know. And this really sucks to say. I don't know, like, oh my gosh. I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm trying to navigate how to keep them in my life while also still trying to live the true gospel of Jesus Christ. And I was just in 2 Thessalonians, and I just said we're not going to get deep, and here we are getting deep. This is the only deep thing that we're getting at. Oh shit, somebody's sending me some tea. Wait, should I read it on camera? Let me see. You guys, my friend in California, he is, dear God, I'm like, hi Israel, we can definitely do that for confirmation fitting because we've, oh, my friend just ordered. Period. My friend just ordered a huge order to California of the 10 Kona cookies at Dunked Cookies, one, and then a few others. Which, if you guys didn't know, if you're in Utah, or even if you're not in Utah, you guys, sorry, I'm getting sidetracked a little bit, but Dunked Cookies, they named a cookie after me called the Kona. It's a ube cookie butter cookie. I presented them with this flavor years ago. Long story short, they named one after me. They came out as part of a temporary launch with Dinah Jane and her cookie, but mine was obviously the most sold cookie. And so they're, from last I heard, looking at ways to put it part of their permanent menu. So that cookie is still available for sale at Dunked Cookies in Utah, and they also ship nationwide. So if you want to order the Kona cookie, which I definitely recommend you should, order it, support Dunked. They're amazing. My friend Lieta, her passion for her business is just like so refreshing. But anyway, where was I? Back to the Bible. I was just in 2 Thessalonians chapter 1, 7, 8, and 9. And to you who are troubled, rest with us when the Lord Jesus shall be revealed from heaven with his mighty angels, in flaming fire, taking vengeance on them that know not God, and that obey not the gospel of our Lord Jesus Christ, who shall be punished with everlasting destruction from the presence of the Lord and from the glory of his power. And verses like this like really scare me. You know what I mean? Because as I'm like reading verses like this, I'm thinking of people who have been misled from the Bible and are now like living a separate gospel. I literally feel like a sense of, oh my gosh, a sense of conviction for me that I know that the true gospel lies in the Bible and the Bible only. And, but also a sense of sadness because pretty much everybody in my life, literally everybody in my life is living a different gospel. And so like, I get like scared, you know what I mean, for them. But like also at the same time, I don't know how to like approach that, you know what I mean? Because yes, we're supposed to be stewards of God and preach his true gospel, but like, I don't feel yet qualified, if that makes sense. Like I feel qualified, but I know like those people don't feel like I'm qualified, and they'll just like completely ignore me, you know what I mean? Because I'm new in my faith walk, and although it has nothing to do with the time you've known Jesus. But that being said, you guys, I just feel like I just need to go all in. You know, my cousin, she's out there preaching and shit and causing a storm, you know what I mean? Lighting some fires, but I'm like not there, you know? And although I was a little bit there at the beginning of my journey of like saying controversial shit and trying to bring people back to the true gospel of Jesus Christ in a very loud and shocking way, like I'm not there anymore. And I really just like feel like I just want to love people back to Jesus, you know? And I'm working on that because, you know, it's like people have known you one way for practically my whole life. Speak for myself. But then when you start to like walk a little differently and speak a little differently because you are now walking with God and you're now trying to live the true gospel of Jesus Christ, there's a certain like pushback from those people because it's like those people that have known you want to keep you there. They know you as this person, so they want to keep you there. And so it makes growth on both ends hard, especially if we're living two separate gospels. It's like, how then do we become one? You know, the Bible clearly states stay away from people who are not living the true gospel of Jesus Christ, but also try to like save them. But it's like these people are so resistant to the true gospel of Jesus Christ or any other word that is not the book that they're reading, that it's like, okay, like I tried, you know what I mean? Like I'm trying through my actions. That's all we can do. But then like at a certain point, when do we draw the line and be like, okay, I have to step away. You know what I mean? So I'm struggling with that, but also like on social media, I'm definitely going to go all in for Jesus now. I swear to God, like there's no one day of the week that I save for worshiping Jesus. Like I'm doing that every day through my actions, through the music that I'm listening to, through the prayers that I say every night, and through the Bible that I read every day. Like that's how I worship Jesus. And I just started taking communion. I just started taking at home communion, you guys. And this is, let me show you guys. My cousin recommended that I take communion every Sunday, you know, and I'm still like not still like trying to see how I'm about to move for church, you know what I mean? And for me to go to a church, a non-denominational church even, or a Christian church, will take a lot for me to go, you know, but I'm open to it. But for now I'm taking communion. They sell these at home communion cups with grape juice, and it has a wafer on the top, pretty much obviously representing the blood and flesh of Jesus every Sunday. So every Sunday I've been doing that, saying a prayer and then taking my communion. And that's just another way that I worship Jesus, you know, like I feel like my relationship with him is direct to him. There's not a middleman in between me and my relationship to Jesus. And there's not any outside noise, you know what I mean? And I encourage everybody, last thing I'll say about this before moving on, I encourage everybody to work on their relationship rather than their religion. I get so many people that are interested in reading the Bible, and they ask me where to start. Start in the four gospels of Jesus Christ: Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. I always refer back to those books, even like throughout my readings of the Bible, because that is when you really get to know God's character. That regardless of whatever else the Bible says after that, learning God's character first in the four gospels, you look at the rest of your readings in the Bible in such a different way, right? As in, like, yes, there are so many things the Bible says about sin and how not to live and how to live. But if you just go back to the Gospels of Jesus Christ and learn his character, at least for me, right? Like I'll read something about like my sexuality and my attraction to men. But then also I remember God's character in the four gospels, and it just makes you look at it in a different way. You guys, I don't want to like say too much about that, but like, just get to know God's character, build a relationship with him directly. No noise, no religion, just relationship. Switching gears a little bit, I have to tell you guys about, you guys know that, well, maybe you guys don't, but I got my real estate license last year because I thought I wanted to jump into commercial real estate, which that might still be the plan. But, you know, my parents were looking for a house. And so I was like, why not just do a residential deal? You know what I mean? Like I never wanted to jump into residential real estate because low key, I think residential real estate is tacky as book. I don't know, just like realtors are just so grimy, you know, and this is my opinion, is that realtors are becoming the new car salesman. And by me going through my first transaction of selling a home last year, I definitely can confirm that notion and that feeling that is true. It is just the tackiest industry that, honestly, selling a home was literally the least recognizable thing I've done, the least notable thing I've done in life. And people look at real estate agents, like realtors, people look at them as up there. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that all realtors are bad, because there's definitely a need for good realtors. And I know some. If you want to buy a house, girl, hit me up, guy, whatever you are, they, them. Oh God, hopefully not. Oh, not the they, thems. Hit me up if you want to buy a house. I won't be your realtor. I am not reactivating my license to do that shit again, but I know some amazing realtors that are local here in Utah and also in Nevada, California. I know realtors everywhere. So if you're looking for a good realtor, you guys hit me up. It ain't going to be me. I'm over it. As I was going through this transaction, you know, of selling my first home, I was like, wait, no way. Like, are you serious? Like, we submit offers through sending an email? And the response from the listing agent is always something like, oh, well, we just got a few offers in. Make your best and final. We're going to accept one this week. Bitch, why are those houses still on the market? And this was literally almost 6 months ago. You know what I mean? And that was a common theme that I found while I was showing houses and making offers through email, is that it is such a tacky, like every single listing agent I can, fuck, shut up. Sorry. Every single listing agent that I submitted an offer to via email, the response was the same. And that's when I just realized, it's all just a technique for them to create a sense of urgency. They have no other damn offers except yours, but they're going to tell you they got 10. Then they're going to create some sort of urgency to put in our highest and best, when in reality, bitch, there is none. And that's just what happens when the process to submit an offer is so informal. It's an email, bitch. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I know listing agents be lying about how many offers that they get. It's like the first thing I realized, and it's not an industry I want to be in. But long story short, after maybe 2 months of looking, my parents really liked this house. They wanted to submit an offer, and this was my first deal, mind you. I'm not new to business, and I'm not naive is what I'm trying to say, but I'm new to real estate, obviously. And this listing agent definitely tried to create a sense of urgency, saying that they received an offer higher than ours, which I know you didn't. That put us in a spot to raise our offer by $10,000. Anyway, long story short, the home didn't appraise for that much, so our offer came down $10,000, and he was upset about that. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is just super shady vibes. This listing agent was also the seller. It was one of his flips, right? He tried to cut me out of a deal and only give me like 1.5% commission. I was pissed, but my parents wanted this house, but also my parents were like, hell no, they're not going to do that to you. We're going to pull out. We don't want the house, because this guy was literally trying to short me. I think the loan officer that I was using told him that I was new, which I'm not a fan that she did that, because then he was like, oh, I can take advantage of this bitch, which he tried, right? So anyway, long story short, we're going through the negotiations, and after he was just being shady and trying to cheat me out of a commission, I'm like, okay, we're pulling out of this deal. And please tell me why instantly when I told him that, he was like, oh no, we'll give you everything you want. We're just, trying to save some money and blah. Oh my God, tacky.com. Like, realtors are just so fucking tacky. Like, it's just, the real estate industry is not, I wouldn't say not for the weak, because bitch, I'm not weak. The real estate industry is not for the moral. It's not for the people, like, you know what I mean? Because I'm not an immoral bitch at all. Like, I have standards. Fast forward to us closing. We had the inspection. We did our final walkthroughs and stuff. Everything was fine, right? Maybe about a month into my parents living at that house, we noticed that the top floor started cracking. The brand new floor that they put on was cracking, and it felt soggy. The floor, all throughout the whole top floor of the house, the floors felt soggy, right? Come to find out that this cheap ass listing agent, I cannot. Come to find out that the subfloor, right? The floor under the brand new flooring that they laid was severely damaged, rotted, and had holes in it, right? This is not something that the inspector caught, nor us doing our final walkthrough, because the brand new flooring was just laid down. So it was bridged until there started to be normal traffic on it, right? Unless I literally hired a floor specialist to like dig a hole in the damn floor, we wouldn't have known that, right? But also, this is something that the listing agent, the seller, didn't disclose. That's a material defect that is hazardous to the health and well-being of the new homeowners. And if there's something like that about this house, you have to disclose that. Otherwise, that's a fucking lawsuit. Reached out to the real estate agent in November, no response. I then sent a email to his principal brokers, his bosses pretty much, at his brokerage, and CC'd him and like 5 other people in it. They responded and said they're going to be working on it or looking into it. That was in December, right? It is April now. And I was sitting at my parents' house the other day, just pissed off at the floors because they're getting worse and worse. And I'm like, this mother tried to cheat me out of a deal. He was super shady throughout the whole thing. And because he thought I was new and was clueless, he thought he could pull a fast one on us. I ended up writing a long email to him. Not only to him, I tagged everybody in his brokerage. And I said, this is our third and final attempt before we file a lawsuit for failure to disclose a material defect. Bitch, there was holes in the damn floor and your cheap ass just try to hide it with the new floors, right? Luckily, there is something called the law. And luckily, I'm not a dumb bitch. Like, sure, I might be new to real estate, but at the end of the day, I'm a consumer advocate, right? I've been in consumer advocacy for the past 8 years with my credit business. We're fighting with the credit bureaus. We're fighting with collection agencies on behalf of our clients. Consumer advocate work, right? That doesn't change. That consumer advocate in me doesn't change if I'm in a different industry. So I sent a long email to him, the listing agent, and I CC'd every damn person at his brokerage. Every damn email I could find, I put it in there. care. I don't care if it was just a regular agent, bitch. There was about 20 damn people in my last email. And guess who's blowing up my phone immediately? Not only that, like I reached out to my principal broker, because obviously I'm a new agent and just like looking for guidance and like, stuff like in outlets I can take. That was one of the first things I did when I noticed the floor issue. And one of the reasons I chose the brokerage that I chose was because the principal broker was a real estate attorney. And that was one of the selling points of, them getting me to join. I was like, okay, that gives me some peace of mind. She's a woman. I'm supporting a woman. She's a real estate attorney. Tell me why I reached out to her asking for advice. And she's like, oh, there's really nothing you can do. He didn't have to disclose that. I'm like, are you kidding me? Excuse my language. I'm sorry, but it's just like very triggering because I'm like, you're a real estate attorney? Are you a stupid ass real estate attorney? Like, you know what I mean? Like I try to join your brokerage to support you because you're a female and you're a real estate attorney. That was going to make me feel so good. That was one of your selling points of trying to get me to join your brokerage. And then when shit hits the fan, you're clueless. Are you stupid? And so anyway, I instantly deactivated my license because I was like, oh, hell no. I reached out to some realtor friends, but obviously they don't give a shit either. Like they're all doing their own thing. And so I'm like, okay, it's a dog eat dog world out here. Luckily for me, I'm not a stupid ass. And one of my traits is that I can be a Karen. Hello, like I said, I've been in consumer advocacy for 8 years. That doesn't change now that I'm in real estate. So I start learning real estate law, and I'm like learning all these things that like material defects that literally should be disclosed if they know about it. And there's no way they didn't know about it because hello, you laid brand new flooring over holes in the subfloor. Like, are you an idiot? How are they going to use a selling point to their brokerage that the principal broker is a real estate attorney, and then when shit hits the fan, she is clueless? All that to say is now the listing agent, is realizing that I'm not going away because that's not the type of person I am to back down. Sometimes my toxic trait is that I am loud and that I am a Karen, but also when it comes to consumer advocacy work, those are sometimes traits that you need, whether it's in the credit industry or real estate. Obviously is some responsibility that I can take, but also like this was an issue that nobody caught and that wasn't gonna show itself until there was normal traffic on the floor. Does that make sense? Like the floors were perfectly fine because it was a brand new floor laid on top of it. But with regular traffic, then it started to expose the lipstick that this listing agent just put over shit. Long story short, because my principal broker is a real estate attorney who obviously doesn't do shit, I'm out here fighting for my clients and doing it myself, and clearly it's working. So if you do want to jump into real estate, just know that it is literally the shadiest industry that you will jump into. We're at right now, like where I just met him for the first time, this listing agent, while he did a walkthrough, because it was his father-in-law who did this renovation. And he just try to say shit like, wow, I can't believe, you guys didn't catch it. Like, it's very obvious. And we're like, well, we can't believe your father-in-law didn't catch it. Is he legally blind laying floors down on holes? Trying to put it on us, And I'm like, don't put this shit on us. Do not put this shit on us. You try to put lipstick on shit and cover it up so you could sell that house. And luckily he found the right one because, 1000% I'm suing until, oh my gosh, I'm getting angry. Let me relax. God, sorry. Jesus, let me relax. Amen. Wouldn't be able to sleep at night. So for my conscience, I'm like, I deactivated my license. And, obviously the reason I got my real estate license was to also jump into commercial. But I don't even want to do that because the rooms that I tried to walk in with commercial real estate, it's a bunch of old white men sitting at tables that have been sitting in these chairs for decades that feel like you have to come in and kiss their ass. I've come way too far in life. I'm a business owner myself and an entrepreneur to be sitting at these tables kissing the asses of these old white men sitting at these seats. If you're looking for one, I know some good ones in Utah, but it's not going to be me. You know what I mean? Anyway, real estate drama aside, sorry guys. The most unsupportive people that I've ever met in my life and on this entrepreneurial journey are Polynesians. And I have decided to like completely step away. Low key, it's like I know some of these people like don't fuck with me, and that is totally fine. But like, stop acting like you like me. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't like me, period, unfollow me. I don't care. Giving you a free pass, but make sure if you unfollow me, bitch, make sure I unfollow you. Go on my page and hit remove this follower. Don't be tacky. But like, it's just like, I know there are so many like Polynesian entrepreneurs for some reason that just like don't like me, but like they pretend to and they still follow me. And I'm like, I know you have my ass muted. It's okay if you unfollow me. Like, I'm not in it for the numbers. Baby, unfollow me. You know, there's a lot of Polynesian entrepreneurs or content creators that we follow each other and there's like no engagement, no interaction between any of us. And it's on both ends. I'm not just saying them, but it's like, why do we follow each other? Just for the number, just so you can have one more follower added to your list. Like, just because we're Polynesian, like, it doesn't mean we got to follow each other. Like, your content doesn't interest me. I know mine doesn't interest you. Like, let's just call it what it is. Like, you don't have to like me. That's fine. But like, don't pretend. I just want to preface that by saying the Polynesian consumer, God, you guys are amazing. You guys carried my business, and even still to this day with CreditKona.com are carrying my business in ways that like I am so thankful for. And I know that like God showed me this new way to CreditKona, and he's blessing me with you guys. Recently in Utah news, at least, there was a whole Amazon fraud scheme that went down that I've known was a fraud for years. And I've tried to speak out about it and warn people. And I've just had so many people come to me, so many people, like 10 plus people, I'm not joking, that actually sent money. They invested 10, 20. I think the highest was like $50,000 that somebody invested trying to buy an Amazon store that got completely ripped off. It was all a Ponzi scheme, which I knew. Maybe I took it a little personal because I know the victim side. And also they also tried to sell me a store, right? These are people that I know, mind you, and that know me personally, that tried to scam me. These people later admitted to knowing, you know, it was a scam, but let me not fast forward. There were so many victims that were close to me that got caught up in this Ponzi scheme that I, like, when the news came out that finally they were being exposed for exactly who I knew they were, oh gosh, I was fired up about, like, finally. It ended up being a $20 million scam that these people admitted to knowing was a scam that they ended up being charged with after being investigated by the Federal Trade Commission. And there are sentencing, like some people are going to jail. And I made a post about it, like, thank God, like, you know, just like encouraging our Polynesian people that, like, we don't need these white people that are trying to sell us a fake dream, and like, people claiming they didn't know it was a scam now. And I'm like, you knew it was a scam. Like, let's not lie about that. You know what I mean? And just not calling them out, but like, it is always our own people to scam us. You know what I mean? With all these, like, even like the money washing and stuff that was going around, and it's just always be our own people. And so I made a post on Instagram in frustration about that, you know, and speaking out against that. And the Lord exposed people to me real quick, you know, and it's a different type of person to call somebody speaking out against the injustices and speaking up for the victims of this $20 million scam negative, right? Like, let me just read you one post, for example, that somebody posted. I just thought was appalling. I know this shit was like directed towards me. You know what I mean? There's so many people that post shit about me, and I'm like, just tag me. Just tag me. Like, I know you're talking about me. That video was seen by 60,000 people. To all you negative Debbie Downer Karen point the finger haters out there who just complain about everything in life. If sticking up for the underdog gets me called negative by old realtors in probably Utah County, then so be it. You realize you're comparing honest business mistakes to a $20 million scam that people knowingly were a part of. Okay, the older generation that raised their kids to always keep their mouth shut. You know what I mean? I'm like, new generation here, honey. We're speaking out. I wish you would use your platform more to, I don't know, maybe have some encouraging words for the victims of our Polynesian people that lost tens, $20,000, $30,000 in this scam out of their retirement, the equity in their homes, just for the sake of money. That's beside the point, but that's like the type of energy, right? And it's like I said, I'm a consumer advocate at heart. It's what I've done in my business for 8 years. It's what I'm still doing now that I'm like fighting this thing with the listing agent. And so it's like when you call out bullshit and you call out scams on, you know, on social media, be wary, because there's going to be old people calling you negative. That's the type of energy that is very well and very to the surface in the Polynesian entrepreneur community. And I am completely stepping out. I literally, you guys, this might sound so bad or problematic. I want nothing to do with Polynesian entrepreneurs. And there's a reason that the most successful Polynesians in life step out of the culture. You have to, because there's this toxic passive aggressive attitude that I would say mainly the older Polynesian entrepreneurs have. But they hide behind God. And I'm not saying there's not authentic and genuine Polynesian entrepreneurs out there, but you really got to be careful of who you're supporting. I wouldn't say I was like fully in the Polynesian community anyway, the entrepreneur community anyway. Like I definitely always was like an outsider of that. But now for real, I am like out. I am out. You won't catch me at no poly function for business. You really won't, because it's just a bunch of tacky and fakeness that I just cannot get on board with, and I never will. And there is a reason that the most successful Polynesians in the world, I'm not talking on a local level, there's a reason that they're not really in their community. And it's because of people like this. It's because of the mentality that we have as a people. It's a very broken mindset. But y'all know I got your back as the Polynesian consumer. Like, I am a consumer advocate at heart. You know, it just so happened that the business that I jumped into 8 years ago made me into, like, it fits my perfect personality, like, perfectly, you know, like, and I want to say, like, at the end of the day, I'm not God. We have no say in what happens to these people. These people will get their time. It is in God's hands. It was just, you know, out of frustration, I did make a video, and I know my personality can be very loud at times on Instagram. Which some people call problematic or negative, but that's just who I am. And I will always speak up for what I believe. Just have so much clarity in my decision to do that, that I'm not even looking back. I know that God has bigger and better things in store for me waiting. I know that. I speak to him every night, and I feel it. With CreditKona taking off, we're now in 35 states out of the 50, and focus on making CreditKona.com a nationwide name. And I won't do that by mingling over here. You know what I mean? Like, we got to branch out at some point. That being said, you guys, I just want to leave you guys with words of encouragement. If you are Polynesian and you want to start a business and be an entrepreneur, do it, but be very careful of who you associate yourself with, because who you associate yourself with is so detrimental to your business. Branch out into other communities, go global, cut out all the spiritual and earthly noise, focus on your goals in life, focus on his word, truly his word, and start building a relationship with Jesus. Because I promise you, like, I am going to go hard for God on my Instagram from now on. And it's not because it's cool to believe in God now. It's not because it's trendy. It's because God saved my life. He picked me up from the floor and changed my life. He continues to change my life, and I will be forever thankful for him. So any moment I get to talk about Jesus to anybody that is open to it, I will. And I encourage you guys to get in his word and really get to know the true gospel of Jesus Christ in the Bible and Bible alone. I pray for everybody that has been misled from the true gospel of Jesus Christ, that they find their way back. With that being said, I love you guys so much. Thank you for tuning into this episode, and I will see you guys next week. Bye, guys.